In a forgotten village, sunlight melted over wheat fields, whispering stories older than memory. A poor farmer lived there, his hands cracked, his eyes gentle, his heart steady. Each dawn he prayed not for wealth, but for strength to remain a good man. His small house smelled of earth, wood smoke, and the simple warmth of earned bread. Beside him lived his only son, young, curious, dreaming of cities beyond the horizon. They worked side by side, plowing soil that refused luxury, yet offered quiet peace. The villagers respected him, not for riches, but for the calm truth in his smile. Every evening, as sunset folded into gold, an old wanderer stopped by the gate. The farmer would break his bread, pour water, and share without question or complaint. The stranger never spoke much. Only gratitude flickered in his tired eyes like fading fire. "Why do you feed him, father?" the boy once asked. "He gives you nothing back." The farmer smiled softly. "When you give, you already receive, even if you don't see it." Rain came that night, a storm that shook the roofs, but the old man never returned. Days passed into months, and still the gate waited in silence for his shadow. Life went on. Harvests changed, seasons breathed, and the boy grew taller than dreams. He spoke often of leaving, of roads, machines, and a future the village couldn't hold. The father listened, smiling through ache, for every parent knows that love cannot chain wings. One morning the boy departed, carrying a tiny bag and a sky full of hope. The house felt emptier than poverty itself. Only memories sat at the table each night. Still, the farmer lit a lamp by the door, believing light guides the ones we love. Years rolled like dust across his fields. Wrinkles grew where youth once danced. But his faith never faded. His heart remained the same gentle soil of goodness. One evening, a letter arrived carried by a stranger on a rusted bicycle. It said the boy had fallen ill in a distant city far from any friend. The farmer read it beneath the same lamp that had waited so many years. He closed his eyes and prayed, "God or life, whatever you are, please protect my son." Rain began again, soft but endless, as though the sky remembered an old promise. In that city, his son lay on a bench beneath flickering streetlights and unseen stars. Cars passed by, faces looked away. The world moved fast without noticing his quiet suffering. Then a car stopped. A man stepped out wearing a coat soaked from the rain. He offered water, helped him stand, and said, "You remind me of someone I once met." The boy was too weak to ask more. He just nodded as the car moved through night. In the hospital, the stranger paid every bill without revealing his name or past. When the boy woke, he found a note beside his bed, written in simple words, "Someone once fed me when I had nothing. I'm only returning what was given." The son stared at the note until tears blurred its edges into light. Back in the village, the farmer sensed peace he couldn't explain. His lamp burned brighter that night. A letter arrived weeks later from his son, filled with gratitude and wonder. The father read silently, smiling through tears that tasted like answered prayers. He looked at the empty gate where the old man once stood each evening. And he understood. Some kindnesses are not forgotten. They just travel circles we can't see. He whispered to the wind, "Thank you, old friend, for coming back when it mattered." The fields shimmered as if the sky itself had smiled in return. That night, the lamp by the door never went out. It had found its reason to shine. Do good even when no one is watching, because kindness always finds its way home. Morning sunlight crept across cracked walls, painting lines of gold on the farmer's weary face. He sat by the door, holding his son's letter as if it were living breath. The paper trembled between his fingers, not from wind, but from emotion, too deep to name. Outside, birds returned after rain, singing the same song he had heard his whole life. He whispered softly, "You see, my boy, goodness travels farther than any man can walk." The lamp by the door still burned, its flame smaller now but stubborn like faith. Every night he trimmed the wick, protecting it from the wind that tested its glow. The villagers often asked why he wasted oil when no traveler came these days. He smiled and said, "The lamp doesn't wait for someone, it reminds me to keep hope." One evening, a young girl knocked, lost on her way home from the neighboring valley. The farmer gave her food, dried her tears, and lit her path with that same lamp. She thanked him and disappeared into the mist, leaving behind footprints of gratitude in mud. As he watched her fade into night, he felt the same peace as years before. The world outside kept rushing, but his small home carried a quiet heartbeat of grace. In the city, his son recovered, stronger now, a lesson blooming within his tired chest. He thought often about the man who saved him and the note he left behind. Each time he closed his eyes, he saw his father's hands, old, cracked, yet full of warmth. He realized those hands had planted more than crops. They had sown values that never die. He returned to work, but his voice had softened. He greeted strangers with patient kindness. One afternoon, he saw a beggar shivering by a market wall and felt something stir inside. Without thinking, he bought him food, water, and said, "You remind me of someone I know." The beggar smiled faintly, whispering, "Kindness grows like vines. It finds new hearts to climb." That night, rain began again, the same melody that had followed his family for decades. He wrote another letter home. "Father, I understand now. The light you kept still burns in me." Back in the village, the farmer read those words by lamplight and quietly wiped his eyes. He spoke to the empty chair across the table. "You see, old friend, the circle continues." The lamp flickered brighter, dancing shadows across walls filled with echoes of past laughter. For the first time in years, he laughed too, not out of joy but completion. The boy's words reached him deeper than any sermon, deeper than any prayer ever could. Because sometimes the greatest miracle is simply knowing your goodness has taken root. The next morning, the farmer rose early, fed the animals, and walked to his favorite hill. He looked over his fields, the same soil that had witnessed his quiet acts of faith. He whispered, "Let this earth remember I tried to leave it a little kinder." The wind answered softly, carrying dust, scent, and memories down to the sleeping village below. When night fell, he lit the lamp again, brighter, steadier, like a star that refused to fade. In the city, his son looked out his window at the same sky, the same stars. Somewhere between them, light traveled, unseen, silent, connecting father and son across miles and time. He smiled and whispered, "Goodness doesn't need to be seen, it just needs to exist." And somewhere, far beyond their reach, the old wanderer's spirit walked those roads once more. The story had not ended. It had simply changed hands, passing from one heart to another, because every act of kindness writes its own continuation, long after the giver is gone. The lamp by the door never dimmed again. Its flame became legend, its story told to children under the same endless sky. They called it the light that waits for no one, yet guides everyone. And through every retelling, the farmer's voice returned, whispering through generations and rain alike. Do good, even when no one is watching, because kindness always finds its way home. Morning fog clung to the valley as roosters called through silence older than the mountains themselves. The farmer woke before sunrise, his back stiff, his breath warm against the cold air. He poured water into a clay cup, looked toward the road, and whispered, "Maybe today, son." The lamp still burned from the night before, its glow gentler now, like an old friend's smile. He stepped outside, feeling the ground's pulse beneath bare feet, the earth he had always trusted. Each furrow in the soil was a memory, each stone a reminder of labor turned to love. Years had taken his strength, but not his spirit. Kindness kept him standing when nothing else could. By mid-morning, the sky cleared and a distant figure appeared along the dusty road. The farmer shaded his eyes, heart thumping slow, a rhythm he had not felt in years. As the figure neared, the world seemed to still. The boy had come home a man. He carried only one bag, worn boots, and eyes that carried both regret and gratitude. "Father," he said softly, "I came to see the lamp that never stopped burning." The old man smiled, the kind of smile that forgives everything without asking for reasons. "My boy," he whispered. The lamp waited because light never forgets who lit it first. They sat together beneath the banyan tree, silence speaking louder than any apology could. The sun told him stories of the city, of strangers who became lessons and friends. He spoke of hunger, mistakes, compassion, of learning that giving is richer than receiving ever was. The father listened without judgment, eyes glistening like dew on early grain. He said, "Now you understand why I shared my bread with a hungry soul." The son nodded. "Yes, and I've learned that goodness travels faster than any train or word." Evening came, painting the fields amber and crimson. The world looked newly made again. The father rose slowly, walked to the gate and placed the lamp upon the stone wall. He said, "It's yours now. Keep it burning wherever you go." The son hesitated. "But father, you need it more here." The old man shook his head gently. "No, my child, this home already knows the light." He pressed the lamp into his son's hands, a small flame holding generations of love. Night spread quietly, and the stars emerged like watchful blessings scattered across velvet skies. They dined together, simple food, shared laughter, the sound of belonging filling the small house again. Later, when the sun slept, the farmer stepped outside and watched fireflies drift above the fields. He whispered to the wind, "Thank you for letting him return before my lamp went dark." The next morning, the son awoke to find his father resting peacefully, smile still on his face. The lamp by the door burned steady, untouched by the breeze, bright as ever before. Villagers gathered, eyes wet, hearts heavy yet strangely comforted by the warmth of that small flame. They said the old man had left exactly how he lived, quietly, with light. The son placed the lamp in the village square, promising to keep it glowing each night. Children asked, "Why this lamp?" He replied, "Because it reminds us that goodness never dies." Years later, travelers passing through the valley would see that flame and ask its story. Someone would always answer, "A poor farmer lit it once and kindness kept it alive." The legend spread beyond borders. It became a tale told beside fires and under city lights. They called it the lamp of the heart, the light that waited for no one yet guided all. And if you listen closely, even now you might hear the echo of that farmer's voice. Do good, even when no one is watching, because kindness always finds its way home.